You're watching your setup form right now in real time, and you know it. Not the way you sometimes think you know, that vague feeling that tricks you into forcing trades that were never really there. No, this is different. This is the clear kind. The kind where you've seen this exact picture so many times it almost feels like the chart is remembering it too, and somehow you still haven't clicked. It's early in the session, not the chaotic open kind of early. The other kind, the quiet kind, where price is moving with purpose but the room still feels like it hasn't fully woken up yet. Your charts are clean. You stripped them down 3 weeks ago and you haven't touched them since. No more stacking indicators on top of indicators trying to engineer certainty out of noise. Just structure, just levels, just price. You made coffee before you sat down. That's new. You used to open the charts first, then go back for coffee halfway through a trade, heart already racing before the market even gave you a real reason. Not today. Today you did it the right way. Coffee first. Sit down settled. Breathe. You open your journal before you even look at the live chart. You wrote something last night. You do this now. A quick note before bed, just to stay honest with yourself. Last night you wrote, "Stop needing it to feel safe," before you take it. You read it once. You close the journal. Now you look at the chart. The overnight range is visible. Clean high, clean low. Not messy, not ragged. It printed like it had somewhere to be. You mark the levels before the London session opens. Not guessing, not hoping. Just placing them where the chart tells you they belong. A zone at the top of a consolidation, a structural low that held twice, a fair value gap sitting right in the middle of everything, barely touched, barely acknowledged. And then London opens, and price starts moving. Not violently, just with direction, the way it moves when it already knows where it's going, and it's just waiting for everyone else to figure it out. You don't move. You don't lean in yet. You've learned the hard way that the first few minutes of London are mostly noise pretending to be signal. So you wait. Price breaks structure. Clean. No ambiguity. One swing high swept, higher low holds. You feel something shift in your chest, not excitement, more like recognition. The way you feel when someone walks into a room and you already know them before they say a word. This is the setup, not a setup. The setup, the one you've been refining for 6 months, the one that finally started clicking about 3 weeks ago, the one you've taken twice this month, and both times it worked exactly the way it was supposed to. And right now, it's forming again. You don't rush. You mark your entry zone. You mark your stop, just below the structural low where the logic of the trade breaks down if price reaches it. You look at the target, previous swing high, sitting right there, patient. The risk to reward is clean, not stretched, not forced, just there. You pull up your order ticket, not to enter yet, just to have it ready. You know how this works now. When the moment comes, it doesn't wait. You either have your finger on the button or you don't. Price pulls back. Slow, controlled, candle by candle, it drifts back toward your zone. You watch it, not blinking much, coffee in your hand, steam still rising. The first candle touches the top of your zone, wicks, closes outside. That's fine, that's normal. You've seen this before. Second candle, deeper, inside the zone now, small body, long lower wick. Your finger hovers over the mouse, not clicking, just hovering. And here's where it starts. Not on the chart, on the inside. A thought, small, almost gentle. Just wait for the close, reasonable, rational even. You've heard that advice 100 times. Don't enter on a live candle. Wait for confirmation. So you wait. Candle closes, body inside the zone, lower wick pointing down like an arrow. Your system says this is valid. Your journal from last Thursday says this is valid. Your brain, right now, in this moment, starts asking a different question. But is it valid enough? And there it is, that word, enough. You zoom in, not because the chart needs it, Because your brain is looking for something. It doesn't know what yet, but it's looking. The candle looks the same zoomed in. Of course it does. It's the same candle. You zoom back out, check the higher time frame. Trend is still up. The pullback you're in the middle of is well within normal range. Nothing has changed. But now you're looking at the higher time frame instead of the lower one. And somehow that small detour, 10 seconds, maybe 15, has created just enough distance between you and the moment. You come back to the entry time frame. Still in your zone, still valid. But now a new thought has slipped in. What if this is the one that doesn't work? You don't say it out loud, but it's there, sitting in the background like something left running on mute. And your brain, being the incredibly efficient machine that it is, immediately starts building a case for it. It finds the last trade you took on this setup that stopped out, not the two that worked, the one that didn't. It replays it, the way that zone crumbled, the way the candle looked clean and then just kept going, the way the stop triggered and you sat there thinking, I read it right, why didn't it work? Your brain puts that image right next to this one. They look similar. They always look similar. That's the thing about patterns. The ones that fail look exactly like the ones that work, until they don't. Maybe the zone isn't precise enough. You adjust it slightly, down a few pips, tighter. Now you're not inside the zone anymore. Now you need price to go just a little deeper before you enter, which means you just created a condition that didn't exist 5 minutes ago, a condition that has nothing to do with your system and everything to do with how you're feeling right now. You don't register any of this, not yet. You just watch. Another candle, small, indecisive, price dips just slightly, just enough to tap the new zone you drew. Your cursor moves, hovers, and then the candle starts forming up. Not aggressively, just lifting, small, tentative. Maybe it's not going to hold. You wait. The candle closes, still inside range, nothing broken, nothing violated. But now you're 3 candles deep into the zone, and each one that forms without you in the trade makes it feel slightly more dangerous to enter. Because now you'd be entering late, wouldn't you? Your brain does the math it was never asked to do. If I entered on that first candle, my stop would be here. Now if I enter, my stop has to be deeper, which means worse risk to reward, which means it's technically a different trade. Logical, measured, completely beside the point, because you already defined the stop last night, before you sat down, before the market opened, when there was no adrenaline, no pressure, no inner voice running commentary. You defined it with a clear head, and it's still valid, but right now. You're using logic to delay a decision that logic already made. Another candle. This one is different, strong, clean body, no hesitation in the close. Bullish, bullish, very bullish. And before you can process it, price leaves your zone. Fast, not explosive, but fast enough that by the time your eyes register what's happening, the entry is gone. You lean forward. Wait. Price pushes higher, breaks the consolidation high. Clean break, no retest, just continuation. Your eyes follow the candles. 1, 2, 3, each one closing above the last. And you are watching it happen with nothing in the market. No position, no skin in the game, just a cursor hovering over an order ticket that no longer makes any sense to click. You watch it reach the first target level, the one you marked before the session opened. It taps it perfectly. Slight hesitation at the top, then a small pullback. Clean. Exactly how it was supposed to look. Exactly how you pictured it when you wrote the plan. You sit back. Not the kind of sitting back that comes from being exhausted, the other kind. The kind that happens when something lands in your chest that you're not sure what to do with yet. The chart keeps printing. Price consolidates near the target. Somewhere in the session noise, another candle forms. And another. And another. The market doesn't pause. It never does. You scroll back to the entry candle, the first one. The one that touched your zone with a long lower wick and a small body and closed exactly the way a textbook would draw it. You put a marker on it, not for the analysis, for yourself, because you want to see exactly where the moment was. And it's right there, not ambiguous, not borderline, right there. You put your entry price in. You put the stop where you planned it. You put the target where you marked it. And you stare at the trade you didn't take. The math is simple. The logic was there. The structure was there. The structure was there. The system was there. Everything was there. Except you. And the strangest part, the thing that sits with you heavier than the missed profit, is that you knew, not hoped, not guessed, knew. You saw the break. You saw the pullback. You saw the zone respected. You saw the candle form. You saw all of it. And for about 30 seconds, you did nothing but create reasons to wait. Not because the setup was unclear, but because somewhere inside that 30 seconds, your brain decided that clarity wasn't the same as certainty. And it went looking for certainty in a game that has never once offered it. You open your journal. You start writing. Not fast, slow. Because you want to write it accurately, not dramatically, just honestly. You write the time, the market, the setup. Then you get to the part that's harder to write. You write what happened, not what the market did, what you did or didn't do. Candle touched the zone. Valid close. I didn't enter. Waited for more confirmation. Created a new condition that wasn't in the plan. Price left without me. Setup played out perfectly. You read it back. There's no anger in it, not because you're not frustrated, but because anger would make it about the market. And this wasn't the market. The market did exactly what you said it would do. This was something else. You sit with that for a moment. Outside, somewhere past the window, life is doing its thing. Cars, wind, someone's dog. In here, just the chart, the journal, the cursor still blinking in the order ticket you never filled. You look at the chart one more time. Price is a long way from that zone now. It's moved on, not with any cruelty, not even with indifference. Just the way time moves. It doesn't wait. It doesn't offer replays. It just goes. You think about the last 6 months. Not every trade, just the pattern. The wins that felt like luck. The losses that felt like betrayal. And this, the third category. The one nobody talks about. Temper the trades you saw clearly. The trades you planned correctly. The trades you understood completely. And didn't take. And there's something in that pattern, something that sits underneath all the strategy and all the analysis that has nothing to do with charts. It has to do with what the brain does in the space between knowing and acting. That space, that small, quiet, almost invisible space, where every past loss you've ever taken lives, where every time the setup looked perfect and wasn't lives, where every stopped-out trade, every blown account, every moment of doubt you've ever carried lives. And when a setup forms, a real one, that space activates. Not loudly, quietly. It doesn't say, "Don't trade this." It says, "Just wait one more second," and then another, until the moment is gone and the waiting feels retrospectively wise because at least you didn't lose. Except you did lose, just not in a way the account statement will show. You close the journal. You don't open another chart. Not today. Not because you're giving up. Because you're being honest with yourself about something. The setup wasn't the problem. The system wasn't the problem. The analysis wasn't the problem. What happened in that 30-second window. And it's happened before, in different sessions, different markets, different setups, same 30 seconds. Sane, quiet negotiation between what you see and what you'll let yourself do. You pour the rest of your coffee out. It went cold while you were watching the chart. You think about something you wrote in your journal 2 weeks ago. You weren't thinking about trading when you wrote it. You were just journaling. You wrote, "The hardest part isn't finding the answer. It's trusting it when you do." You didn't connect it to trading when you wrote it. You connect it now. The chart is still open. Price is still printing. New candles, new setups forming somewhere. The market doesn't know about this morning. It doesn't know about your journal, your missed entry, your cold coffee. It just keeps going. And somewhere in that, there's something almost clarifying. Not comforting, not inspiring, just clear. And the one after that. And the one after that. And each time, there will be that same 30 seconds, where everything lines up, where the plan was right, where the moment is real, and the only variable, the only thing that changes the outcome is what happens inside that window, not on the chart, in here. You look at the marker you placed on that entry candle, small, quiet, right where it happened. You don't delete it, you leave it there, because tomorrow morning, when you open the charts, you want to see it, not to punish yourself, just to remember exactly what it looked like, when everything was clear, and the only thing left to do was act. If something in this hit close to home, leave a comment below, not about strategy, just about that 30 seconds, because more people are sitting in it right now than you'd think. Subscribe if you want to keep watching these moments from the inside.